Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we're doing something a little bit more chilled and a little bit more laid back. I'm not scripting this video like I often do with my videos, I'm just kind of talking freely about Dark Deception and all the news that has come out over the previous few months. Now, with Dark Deception, I haven't been covering every news piece as it's been coming out because often it's just a screenshot of some like nondescript environment, and while that is interesting, it wouldn't make a whole video. So what I've started doing with my Dark Deception coverage is sort of waiting 1 or 2 months and then collecting everything up to talk about in one video. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to talk about Dark Deception Mobile, which is coming soon. We're also going to be talking, of course, about Chapter 4, the big one, the one we've all been looking forward to the most. Now, that also has some new information, not quite as much, but it does have some interesting new teasers out for it, which I think can lead to speculation about what the chapter may be all about. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about, a few other little small things that have come to light about Dark Deception. So stay tuned for the end and we'll sort of discuss the leftovers, so to speak, there. It's kind of nice for me to just kick back and chat to you guys about a game that I'm looking forward to personally, and I know a lot of you guys are too. So with that said, let's begin. It's Dark Deception Mobile. We have some new screenshots. These went up on the Twitter and Instagram account for Dark Deception. So if you aren't following the Dark Deception Twitter and Instagram accounts, I will leave links below. They'll probably be on the screen now as well. So on the Dark Deception Twitter account, we had 2 screenshots from the mobile version of the Gold Watcher stage and 1 screenshot from the Dread Duckies Stranger Sewers stage. Personally, I think this looks really impressive. Now obviously the graphics aren't quite up to the fidelity you'd get on the PC, but considering the hardware limitations and the difference between, a PC where often the graphics card alone costs more than a phone that you might have, considering that sort of disparity in technology there, I think they've done a really good job here, and it's actually improved a lot more visually from when I showed you guys the last lot of teasers for this, which I think was back in November, where it kind of looked good, but it didn't look like amazing. I actually think now with these new screenshots, it looks incredibly close to the PC version. I think this, once it's on a smaller screen as well, on a handheld device, is going to look remarkably similar to what we are playing on PC. And honestly, from these screenshots, I actually did think this was the PC version when I first glanced at them. It wasn't until I blew them up to full screen, that I was like, oh yeah, that's obviously the mobile version. And I think that's exciting because I am looking forward to this. I think Dark Deception on a mobile device is actually going to be really cool. I've enjoyed playing, the Five Nights at Freddy's game on mobile. I've enjoyed playing Bendy and the Ink Machine on mobile. I think, this looks like one of the more impressive ports out there because they've actually spent, months and months and months getting it just right. So the ability to have that game in a handheld is going to be pretty awesome. And it should be coming, I think, like in the next month or 2. I remember just before Christmas they hoped for January, but I'm not sure if that's set in stone, so I won't sort of say that it is. But it should be coming pretty soon. We have had also some comments from Glowstick Entertainment themselves on Instagram where they clarify a few details about this as well, about the release of this mobile version. So first one says, in reply to somebody's comment, $6.99 for the whole game. Either that or earn it by watching a lot of ads and grinding shards to unlock chapters for free. Basically, pay with money or your time. Both support us. Chapter 1 is free for all regardless. So from this, guys, it looks like it's going to be much cheaper than the PC release, which I think is around $20. Here, we're looking at $6.99 for the whole game, which is far cheaper. So if you can't play on PC or you just want a backup copy, for on the go, it's actually a really fair price. They've also said here, as you can see in this comment, that you can actually unlock the game by just watching ads and grinding shards. So basically just by playing the game, watching ads like you do here on my YouTube channel to support them, much in the same way as you support me here. Because obviously nothing comes for free, guys. You can't expect a game developer who's been working 6 months or so on a mobile port of their game to just give it away for free. They have to earn the money back. So I think this is a fair system. It's a low price of entry, and if you can't pay it, you have the option of grinding it out. Although they did clarify in a secondary tweet, Chapter 1 will be free. You may also be able to earn chapter unlocks by watching a lot of ads. So I'm not sure if they're kind of just, safeguarding themselves there and saying, we're not entirely sure if this feature's gonna happen, but it seems like they're aiming to have you be able to unlock the rest of the game, through sort of grinding. Certainly nice of them to offer a way to unlock the game for free if that's what they decide to go with in the end. I think I'm just gonna be dropping the $6.99, to be honest, having the game on portable. I can't wait for that. So I think, you know, that's pretty much all the news for the mobile version of the game. But for now, guys, we're going to move on to Chapter 4, because of course Chapter 4 is probably the main reason most people have come to this video. It's something new, of course, something we haven't seen before, and the thing we're all really excited about. You know, where will the story go next? What will the monsters be like in Chapter 4? What's the stuff they haven't shown off yet? You know, like the boss battles and, you know, the full environments. We don't know a lot about Chapter 4. They've been deliberately vague. They've said it will be one of the darker chapters, if not the darkest chapter. They've also said I think it will be like the hardest chapter. So we've had like vague hints at what to expect, you know, something disturbing potentially, and also something that's going to be rock solid to complete, which I'm actually kind of apprehensive of, because the Gold Watcher stage really kicked my ass. You know, I hope I won't have to do this, but I may have to drop the difficulty down to easy, at least to do the initial Let's Play. I don't know, we'll have to see what happens, guys, but I'm hopefully going to go through it on normal, as I have with the other chapters, and it won't best me, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we have this new screenshot. This is again on the Dark Deception Twitter page. It says, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, and it's basically showing an environment from Chapter 4, which I believe is most likely from the Joy Joy Gang stage, because that's what they've shown the most of. In fact, somebody actually asked them, they said, I know the Joy Joy animatronics are the face of Chapter 4, but the nurses and Mama Bear deserve some attention too, and the Dark Deception account basically wrote back saying, we already said we are not showing those until the final trailer releases. So it looks like we're not actually getting any information more than we've already had on those other enemies and environments until the game releases, which is quite a good way to go. You know, we do want some surprises. I remember when Chapter 3 came out and we had like so many surprises, but we had still seen quite a lot of the stage. You know, we had the boss battles, we had a few like little environments within the levels that we hadn't seen, but most of it we kind of knew what to expect, because they had revealed quite a lot in the marketing, and they had to back then, because Dark Deception was a lot smaller. They had to drum up hype for it. But now when the game's well known, it's got a big fan base, you know, people know what to expect. The fans know what to expect. They don't have to like blow their load and go, hey guys, look, this is the boss for the new chapter, this is what all the hospital environments look like. You know, they don't have to kind of show it all off. You know, they can take their time, they can keep us all in suspense, and I know no more than you guys. You know, I'm kept pretty much in the dark until I need to know information, but basically I like to be kept in the dark too, because I like to, you know, make my theories and speculation videos like this one. There was also this new cool little teaser that released, and it shows that the Joy Joy Gang actually are part of a place called Joy Joy Land. Now this is cool because it actually leads us to speculation as to where the environments might take place in. You can see that it starts as this kind of kid-friendly, like nice logo, and then it glitches into this hellish sort of animatronic nightmare logo. I actually made this last summer at the request of the developers. They gave me the logo, they said, can you put some cool effects on it? So I did that, and again, that's something else I haven't been allowed to talk about really, you know, until now, until it's been released. So that just goes to show you sometimes like I'm sat on information for a long time. It's also why I didn't really speculate too much about the Joy Joy Gang until now, because I kind of had that information and I was like, I can't really talk about this too much. But with that now released, I can speculate as to what I think this stage might actually be now. So the Joy Joy Gang stage, it takes place in Joy Joy Land. That sounds kind of like a theme park on a first sort of like when you first hear it, but what I actually think this stage is going to be, I think it's going to take place in a sort of Chuck E. Cheese style sort of diner or restaurant, but one which also includes like a Laser Quest style environment or some kind of, you know, big ride for people to experience. So it won't be like big like Disneyland or Universal, but it won't be as small as something like Chuck E. Cheese. It'll be like one of those small like theme park type places, because these characters, let's face it, they're not like Mickey Mouse big, are they? They're kind of like exactly like you get in a Chuck E. Cheese, you know, or a FNAF game, you know, like Freddy Fazbear. They're kind of those sort of lower tier designs that, you know, smaller companies would make and make their little sort of theme parks based around. And I think it's quite possible with the sci-fi theme of Chapter 4, or at least this stage of Chapter 4, we could likely get these sci-fi environments appearing in the guise of rides within the Joy Joy Land. We also may, as I speculated before, be chased through environments like, you know, a meat making factory, you know, the kitchens. It says if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen in that screen grab. So it seems like some of the locations will be part of this diner or restaurant, as well as the theme park around it. And that's just speculation, I don't know, guys, but it is called Joy Joy Land, so we must expect, you know, something along those lines surely, with the Joy Joy Gang being sort of the fallen animatronic mascots So perhaps this was a theme park where Doug Hauser took his family to when they were still together, and it's sort of coming back to haunt him. Perhaps it's something from his childhood that haunted him for some reason. Again, the story's meant to be very dark in this chapter, so we can only sort of speculate as to what might be happening, but it could be dark memories from his past as a child, which formed him into the man he is now. I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This is kind of why I'm excited for chapter 4, because there's so many possibilities, and they really have kept a tight lid on information. As well as all this stuff, guys, that I've been showing you here, we also had some new music from different stages of Chapter 4. We've had music from the Nurse stage, the Mama's Bear stage, and the Joy Joy Gang stage, as well as a new track from Malak. Now, I'll play you a few short clips of some of these tracks, but what you really should do is go and subscribe to Glowstick Entertainment if you're not already on YouTube, and there you can listen to all of these tracks at your leisure in full. And I will say that the music by Daniel Dombrowski for this 4th chapter, he's done all the music I think for the whole game, but the music he's done for chapter 4 I think is his best work. The music in chapter 4 is really moody and sinister, as you could probably tell from those clips I just played you, and it really fits, this dark aesthetic they're going for chapter 4. It's a lot more somber, it's a lot more sort of brooding than previous chapters have been, and I really dig that. I think it's really, really well done. So I can't wait to sort of, hear these tracks in situ within the chapter. I think that's going to be really cool. There's one more thing that I wanted to discuss, and that's that there was a message actually from somebody to Glowstick Entertainment on their Instagram account, and this person said, will Dark Deception expand into more than just a game in the future, like a book or a movie, similar to where FNAF is at currently? Glowstick replied, and they said yes, if our fan base supports that. So it looks like Glowstick are hoping that Dark Deception will become this, big franchise that they can then make, potentially books, movies, perhaps future games on, as well as, of course, toys and stuff like that. Kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's did, of course. Bendy the Ink Machine was another one that broke into all that kind of merch. You can already get Dark Deception merch now, and I will leave a link to their store below. So if you do want to go and support them and buy some of the merch, they've got some cool t-shirt designs and stuff on there. You can go and do that. But it would be really cool to see a book where it's perhaps, explaining a little bit more about the lore of the game, because it's quite sort of light on story, the game, purposefully so, of course. But it would be cool if there's a book to add in a whole backstory to Doug and his family and what happened, or perhaps a brand new character in the same situation. I think it's definitely a world that would support a creepy horror based story around it. It's also nice to hear that they are looking to the future and potentially thinking of future games in the series. Obviously I don't know if that's exactly the way they're going with it. They might decide they want to do a completely different game after Dark Deception, but it does seem like that they're interested in potentially taking this franchise forward. So a full-blown sequel isn't out of the question, of course, depending on where they leave it with the original game. And I think this is the kind of game where you could make, half a dozen games, because basically it's just a series of maze-like environments with these kind of creepy monsters in. There's so many cool monsters that you could think up and put into a game series like this, and then of course you just drip feed us that mysterious story in the background through notes and little sort of cutscenes at the end of each chapter. It works really well as a series that obviously works for theorists like me, but also works as just an addictive sort of horror game that you can replay again and again and again. And adding more monsters with each game is just a concept, as a fan of monster movies and stuff like that, it's something that I'm really excited for. But there's so many different monsters that you could stick into these games. You could have one with mummies, an Egyptian themed one. There could be so many different stories and so many different concepts that you could unlock in a game like this and easily implement if they chose to go forward with more games in the future. But for now, guys, that's just me speculating. I told you I'd get into a ramble at the end of this video. When Chapter 4 comes out, there will be a lot more Dark Deception content on the channel. I don't like to just spam out videos on it. I'm very excited for Chapter 4, of course. When it comes out, we'll have theories, we'll have secret videos, we'll have Let's Plays, there'll be the whole shebang as usual. Explaining the monsters from each chapter, looking at Beatrice's audio logs, her new diary logs, all that kind of stuff. as usual, will be coming soon. I will do a Let's Play of a mobile game as well. But that's me done for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to give it a like, leave me a comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one, and I will see you guys on the next one.